Good morning. Welcome to today's presentation. Your senior year is right around the corner. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We're going to be covering a lot of important information that hopefully will help you prepare for your senior year. Before we get started, I do want to let you know that today's presentation will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, as well as emailed to you along with a handout entitled Junior checklist, along with some important information on college admissions testing, helpful resources, and upcoming events. So let's get started. At Mission Hills, we have 6 counselors. We have Mrs. Baker, myself, Mrs. Segal, Mr. Cruz, Mrs. Goldstein, Mrs. Martinez Alejandre, and Mrs. Rios. Today, we're going to be covering 4 topics. The first will be post-secondary options, and we'll be going into what are those post-secondary options for our students, as well as college admissions testing, financial aid, helpful resources, along with some upcoming events that we recommend that you check out. To start off, post-secondary options, there are a variety of options for our students after they graduate from high school. We will be discussing community college, career and technical schools, military, the workforce, and how to prepare for 4-year colleges, universities. So to begin, we have community college. We have students that will start their post-secondary education at community college. The community college offers a variety of programs. For example, a student may choose to go to a community college to earn their associate degree, which is a 2-year degree, as well as earning an associate's degree with the goal of transferring to a 4-year university. The community college also offers certificate programs, and these are programs that a student can earn a license or a certificate in a career in 1 to 2 years. There are also apprenticeships. An apprenticeship is where a student will learn a trade, specifically with training on the job, training as well as coursework. So a student is able to earn their degree or their certificate per se, as well as getting on the job training for it. Another amazing program at a community college is the Palomar Promise. This is specific to Palomar College. However, each community college will have a similar type of program in the state of California. But for today's purposes, with Palomar College being right down the road from us, students that choose to go to Palomar College may be eligible for the Palomar Promise, which is a 2-year, which is open to all first-time college students. It offers up to 2 years of free tuition, as well as provide students with access to specialized academic and career planning, as well as with textbook assistance. Seniors will begin to learn this information during their senior year. We will be offering workshops, we'll be offering information on how and when to apply for this. Then you have career technical education. These are programs for a specific trade or a vocation. We have a lot of these types of programs throughout the state and nation. We do ask our students to make sure that they research these programs and finding out what is the cost, what programs are available, how to get started. Here we have 5 links to certain programs within our county, within the North County exactly. We would encourage students to check out these links. And for any questions, please connect with your school counselor, and then we can connect you with the right person for the program. We also have students that are thinking about military as a possible path to a career. Because of the pandemic, we've had to be creative in terms of how to get this information out to our students. We have created a link to our military recruiters with their contact information, as well as we've created a YouTube video where each military branch highlights what that branch offers to to those interested. Again, if you're interested in the military, we recommend that you click on both of these links to find out more information on each branch, as well as who to contact for each military branch.
Good afternoon, Grizzlies. Mr. Cruz here, and now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about entering the workforce. So at Mission Hills High School, we do have the College and Career Center, aka the Future Center, and we have Mrs. Amanda Yonser, who is our college education coordinator, who can help you out of this center. She specializes basically in helping you plan out your future. One of the tools that she uses is the Super Strong Interest Inventory, which is an assessment that helps you find your strengths and ties these to careers, but it also ties these careers to colleges and schools that offer training in that career or an education in that. So, Mrs. Amanda Yonser can also help you on many other things, such as applying for jobs, building your resume, and also practicing those interview skills. She can also help you out with your college applications, financial aid, and also applying to scholarships. So if you haven't reached out to Mrs. Yancer yet, I highly recommend that you do so you can start that conversation going and so she can help you get there. Next up, we're going to talk about the 4-year university systems here in California. So we do have the CSU system and also the UC system. Locally here, the CSU, we have Cal State San Marcos and San Diego State. For the UC system, we have UCSD. Now, in order to be eligible to apply to these universities, you do have to complete a couple of things. One of them is being completing the A through G requirements with a C or better. Another thing that we highly recommend is that you take the SAT and or ACT. So once again, this is optional, but we are recommending that you do it. Um, Also, before you apply to any of these universities, it's really important that you explore them. And we have this hyperlink down here: explore the CSU, explore the UC system, look into the careers, look into the degrees they offer, what campus life is like, if they offer any extracurriculars activities that you might be interested in. We want to make sure that you're applying to the universities that would be a good fit for you. We also have the private, independent, and or out-of-state colleges that you can apply to. So it's really important that you do your research on these. Um, Many of these have many different requirements, but they are similar to the A through G requirements. So look into the requirements, check out the admissions page, uh, see what they require, because we want you to avoid any surprises. Now, most colleges do have their own application, but they also go through the Common Application, aka the Common App, or the Coalition app, the Coalition for the College Application. So, for more information on these, you can go ahead and click on the logos down here, and it'll take you to their page. Look into those, see what it takes to file your application. One of the things that you might require is a letter of recommendation. So we do want you to fill out this letter of rec packet if you will be um, if it is required for you to get a letter of rec filled out. And this is because this letter of rec packet is going to help out your recommender. By filling out this letter of rec packet, you'll be able to write about, some of the things that you've achieved. If you um, went through some obstacles and you overcame them, anything that you've been involved with, your leadership skills. This is a chance for you to write it down, and then you can turn this into your recommender. Now, your recommender will use this to write a letter of rec, but the more details that you provide in this letter of rec packet, the better of a letter your recommender can write. One last thing is that if you are going to be at requesting a letter of rec, we do want you to do it with at least a 2 weeks notice. But the more time your recommender has, the higher chance of that letter being a great letter that represents who you are. Next up is if you are wanting to play sports in college. So if this is the case, you got to make sure that you register for a profile account or a certification account with the NCAA Eligibility Center. You can access this page by clicking on that link. You can make sure to talk to your school counselor to make sure that you are on your way to fulfilling the requirements, as they all do have different requirements if you want to play in Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3. You also got to make sure that you take the SAT and or ACT and enter your scores in the eligibility center using code 9999. Lastly, we want to make sure that you receive all the information, are up to date, and you can do so by joining our student athlete Google Classroom. The code is G7EW2U7.
Hi, this is Mrs. Rios, and I'm going to discuss college admissions tests. Well, what are they? It's the SAT or the ACT. Schools accept either or, but due to COVID, a lot of schools are not accepting or not requiring students to take the SAT or ACT. Here in the state of California, the UC and CSU systems are not requiring students to take them, and the community colleges do not require the SAT or ACT. So why should you take them? Well, you want to keep your options open. You don't want to wait to the last minute to find out if a specific school you want to apply to is requiring the SAT or ACT. So when should you take the SAT or ACT if you're interested in taking it? It usually is the spring of your junior year. Let's say you miss out on this opportunity in the spring, you will have an option to take the SAT or ACT fall of your senior year as well. Just also consider when you are choosing a date to take the SAT or ACT that you take in consideration any extracurricular activities that you're involved with. This slide just shows you the flyer that we sent out to all our juniors, and it's also going to be part of the handout that you received today. It has information about where to register, the fees, a little bit more about the fee waivers, as well as some tips for you to review. You can qualify for a fee waiver, and these bullets outline how to qualify. It's really simple. If you qualify for free or reduced lunch, that's a qualification. If you're interested, please email Ms. Smith in the College and Career Center, and she can outline how you can get a fee waiver. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Martinez. We want to talk to you guys about financial aid. You're probably at the stage where you're like, oh, I'm going to apply to college, but how am I going to pay for it? So there are 3 different types of financial aids available. One of them is grants. So grants is free money that does not need to get paid back. It comes in forms of Cal Grants, which is California money. There's federal grants, which is like nationwide money, and then there's university grants, which is each university has their own money, and so any grants is like free. So that's what you kind of want, right? And so the second type of financial aid is loans, and this is borrowed money for college, and you must repay these loans with interest. So there are school loans, and the school loans, the interest is a lot less than if you were to get like a loan at a bank. And then there's another type of financial aid. It's a work study. And so work study lets students earn money through certain jobs on or off campus to help students pay for their education. So on campus, there might be jobs like at the bookstore, or there's different cafeterias where they have jobs. And then also like there's jobs in the library that you get paid for, and then you can use that money towards like tuition, food, or just like fees. So these are 3 types of like financial aid. The cool thing is that you only have to do 1 application to be able to see which ones you qualify for. The next slide. And there's so you only complete 1 application, but there's 2 different applications, and it just depends on just kind of your status, right? So there's a Fafsa application. This is for students that are U.S. citizens, U.S. nationals, permanent residents. So if like you have a green card, eligible non-citizens with valid social security number. So if this applies to you, you'd be doing the FAFSA. There's also the DREAM Act. DREAM Act, it's a development relief and education for alien minors. This is for undocumented youth that don't have social security numbers. This one is also for students that have DACA. So DACA is the deferred action. So if you have DACA, you would be doing the DREAM Act. And they have a requirement of you have to have attended a California high school for the last 3 years. So again, depends on your status. You're either doing the FAFSA or you're doing the DREAM Act. This application opens October 1st, 2021. So it's not open for you guys to do yet, but it will open up on October 1st. Again, you only complete one application. What can you do now? So it opens up October 1st, but there's stuff that you can do right now. And one of them is going to the website and creating your FSA ID. And you might be like, well, what in the world is an FSA ID? Well, because this application is done online, there isn't really a form to like actually sign it online. So what they do is they have you create an FSA ID as a form of signature. So you can create one for yourself. Your parents also have to create one too. So make sure that you help them create one. And then it's important to start that communication with your parents about how you're going to pay for college. You know, some of your family members might have money saved. Like in my case, there was no money saved. So, but you guys can start saving up, or like doing a summer job. That way you can start saving up. Or just it's just important to talk about financial aid with your family ahead of time. And just make sure to visit our financial aid website. For the DREAM Act, if you're doing the DREAM Act, you do not need to create an FSAD, but it's important that you start that communication with your parents about financial aid. Again, we do have a financial aid page that you can visit at Mission Hills, as well as a Dreamers page with resources for you.
All right. Hello, Grizzlies. Mrs. Goldstein here. Nice to meet with you guys today. I know we're covering a lot of information, but the reason we like to meet with you during your junior year is because there's a lot of planning that really needs to happen before you start your senior year to make sure that you don't feel overwhelmed and stressed. So in your senior year, you're still going to have all of your classes to take care of. You're going to be filling out those college applications, financial aid application. So whatever you can do starting now and through the summer is really going to help you so you're not overly stressed during senior year. With that being said, we are here for you. We are here to support you. There's a ton of resources that we've talked about. So please make sure to go back over the slides and click on any of the links to learn a little bit more. Another recommendation would be to start a file folder. So whether it's virtual, online, you have a little folder where you keep all of this information, or you like to print things out and keep them. You want to start keeping everything in one spot so that you can refer back to it. So on this slide here, you'll see there's a lot of helpful resources. I would absolutely encourage you to get familiar with each of these links. The first one is the California State University. That's the CSU system, such as Cal State San Marcos. The UC system, University of California, such as UCSD, and then community colleges, there's over 100. And so Palomar is wonderful, and that's a great option, but there are also other community colleges. So if you wanted to look and see, just like four-year universities, the two-year schools have different options as well. So just getting familiar with that. The SMUSD Future Center and the Mission Hills College and Career Center both have additional information on everything we've covered today and more. And then again, financial aid is super important. I know the college application process can be overwhelming, and figuring out how to pay for it is another piece of the puzzle. So making sure to apply early to financial aid is going to be the key to get you the most amount of money as possible. So again, right now, even though you can't apply yet, definitely look through the links and be on top of it. So come as soon as that application opens in the fall, you can submit it and you feel confident and ready to go. Here are some upcoming college fairs that I would also encourage you to attend. You'll learn about different schools, what types of programs they have, and you'll get a feel by the college reps of what kind of campus it is. And so I always encourage students to visit the campus in person as much as possible, but right now I know that can be kind of difficult. So attend the college fairs, ask a lot of questions, and learn as much as you can so you're making a good choice. So make sure to refer back and click on these links and save the dates that you see.
Hi, Grizzlies. Mrs. Baker here. Getting ready for your senior year is a process, and please know that we are here for you every step of the way. Preparing for your senior year involves taking care of yourself emotionally, physically, and taking care of your mental health as well. So let's take a moment and look at this slide together. Maybe you already have a couple of your go-to strategies to cope with stress and prevent stress, but either way, here are just some ideas. On the left, you'll see some short-term or more immediate things you can do, like take a 20-minute break to walk or stretch, or just tidy up your area. On the right, you'll see some long-term stress relief ideas, like taking care of your physical and mental health, getting at least 8 hours of sleep at night, and seeking support from friends or family, and of course, your school counselor. So look it over. Hopefully you see at least 2 in each column that you can commit to trying. When you have access to the PDF, the images up top will also link to some great resources. If you have a phone, please put these in your phone or take a photo of this screen. If ever you need them or want to share them with a friend or someone you care about, these could be good to have handy. These are free, confidential phone numbers where you could call, text, or some apps that are available 24/7. The National Suicide Prevention line is English and Spanish. The crisis text line you can text, and a warm line as opposed to a hotline where it doesn't have to be like an emergency or a crisis. Maybe you just have a lot on your mind and you want to chat. And then, of course, whenever in doubt, you can always dial 911, and every hospital emergency room can treat not only physical emergencies, but mental health emergencies as well. Well, that's a wrap. So for those of you who have access to the PDF, there is a brief survey that we want the juniors to take, and we really appreciate your feedback. So thank you, Grizzlies, and remember, we are always here for you.